Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By now, most of us have heard of the tragic story of Amber Athwal, a lovely 4-year-old who has yet to regain consciousness following a dental procedure. Her family is not satisfied with the response they have received from the Alberta Dental Association and College with regards to their ongoing investigation. They simply want to know what happened. To the Honourable Minister of Health, will you commit to ensuring that the findings of this report are made public so that something like this never ever happens in Alberta again?
Good question. The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the important question. I, too, had the honour of getting a chance to spend some time with Amber and her family, and this is a very difficult time for them to welcome us, I think, is a tremendous credit to their strong spirit. We have been working with them. We at this point are confident and want to respect the college's process, but I want to be very clear, the family deserves answers, and so do all Albertans, so we'll be working to make sure that the college's process is complete, and then answers can be shared with the family and with Albertans.
First supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that when I met with the Athwal family last week, they told me that they feel they have been left in the dark by the government, and despite any efforts they may have been made, they are hoping for increased communication from the Ministry of Health. And again to the Minister, will you personally ensure that more channels of communications are open with the family and that they receive the information they need in this difficult time?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the question. We have been corresponding with them regularly. My Deputy Chief of Staff in my office has recently spoken with them, and we'll make sure that I believe they have his personal phone number, so it's even deeper than the ministry, somebody directly in my office, because it's important that they have an opportunity to feel heard. And while it's a very difficult time, and we might not be able to give them all of the answers we want to know what their questions are and be able to support them through this transition, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that Amber's father, Raman Athwal, has been forced to quit his job in order to be by his daughter's side, and given that this loss of income is compounded by the fact this family does not fully know the extent of the brain injury suffered by their daughter, again to the Minister, in order to ease the suffering from this tragedy, will you or someone from your ministry reach out to this family and help them access any and all support which they are entitled to moving forward?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the question. Yeah, when we did have an opportunity to meet, I talked about what some of their nervousness was and some of their concerns, and certainly having some support and liaising with Human Services is one of the areas around what types of supports might be available to help with transportation and those types of things when you have a child who's in a wheelchair. So we're working with them and coordinating with them in Human Services. And I also want to say that Amber's mom made it really clear that she wants Amber to be in an inclusive school environment, and it made me feel very proud to be able to say no matter what, no matter how full Amber's recovery is, she has every right to attend a public school, and we'll make sure that we support them in that initiative, Mr. Speaker.